Hello, everybody. I'd like to today talk about the fourth process, which is talking to the parts of self. Uh, if you hadn't noticed already that language lessons of the heart is not your average modality of healing and evolving yourself, it's pretty much it's got its own thing going on, and it's on a very high level. Uh, Talking the parts of self is about relationship, and your inner relationship with yourself is also your relationship with God, Creator, with nature, with Mother Earth, and with every human being and every kind of relationship that you can have with a human being, with your boss, with your parents, with your children, with your mate, with your lovers. All relationships are based on spirit, heart, will, and body. And once those relationships inside of you is good, then the outside relationships are going to be good. And that's pretty much the premise. There's, like I said before, there's two places in the universe, outside you and inside you. And outside you mirrors what's inside you. If you have turmoil inside you, you're going to see turmoil outside you. If you have suffering, if your inner world is suffering and in pain, then the whole world is suffering for you. You see? The outside will reflect what's the inside. So this is 5D. Length, width, and depth is 3D. And then time is 4D. But inside you, inside and out, right, inside you, is 5D. The whole thing's 5D. So if this was, thousands of years ago, and it was a mystery school, first of all, this is never, talking to the parts of self has never been done on Earth before. Never. Pretty much guarantee it. You can look in the history. There's not any mention of it. Nobody mentions this, and yet it is so. The beginning of psychology with Sigmund Freud and Carl Jung and Abraham Maslow and all those guys, they began to look within. Yeah? And then they saw the fears and phobias and desires and lusts and all that kind of stuff that they found. And then transactional analysis and things like that about what's communicating to who, the parent, the adult, the child, the id, the ego, and the superego. These are words that gradually went into our lexicon. And this is just an evolution, an organic evolution of that, where you have the four parts of yourself: your spirit, your heart, your will, and your body. And that relationship is what really needs to be addressed. Now again, if this was back in the time of the mystery schools, or if I was a guru, I would have you saying your empowerment. So I'm empowering myself with a strong and loving intent to heal. 10,000 times. That's 100 times a day for a little over 3 months. Yeah, and say it into your emotion. Say it into your emotions. So if, let's say, you make a list of 100 emotions, and you say, "I'm empowering myself with a strong and loving intent to heal my will. Will you help me?" In each different kind of emotion. So anger, fear, panic, worry, concern, joy, bliss, gratitude, grief, suffering, pain, anticipation, excitement, celebration. All those kind of, so the idea is to have that intent to heal completely covered, painted in all of your emotions. No matter what emotion that you have or will have in the future, there'll be an intent to heal tagged to that. And then also to say it to every significant person that you have, from God the Creator to Jesus to Buddha, Muhammad, whoever is your ideology. And say it to them, and then to your parents, your grandparents, your children, your teachers, your mentors, the people who you admire, the people who, every, TV personality or anything that you respond to. You can say it to the superheroes and stuff like that. So the idea is that, and that's in your collective unconscious. What Carl Jung calls your collective unconscious. We have inside of us all these archetypes, both good and bad, and you say it into the archetypes. So all your family and all the archetypes, all the bad guys, all the good guys, all the angels and the archangels and the cherubs and seraphims and order of emergence of spirits and all the animal power spirits and all that kind of stuff. You want to say it to all of them so that now you have the different emotions. Say it to the different emotions and to the different people who are populated in your subconscious. And then the last one you can do is say it backwards and forwards in time. Start with your grandparents if you want, or your parents before you're born, and then the act of being born and all that kind of stuff, right? You say, I'm empowering myself with a strong and loving intent to heal my will into those places, right? And then your first year, your second year, your third year, your fourth year, you're going to say it 10,000 times, so you got plenty of time. When you're done, you want to have an immaculate intent to heal. You're saying it into your future. Say it as far into the future as you can. You can say it back to lifetimes on other planets if you want. Other lifetimes, as far back as you can remember. To the beginning of Earth if you want. Okay? And the reason for this is you want to have the whole of your inner world, the whole of your 5D world, painted with a strong and loving intent to heal. And that's really critical. That would be first before I would teach talking to the parts of self. The other thing I would say, if it was in olden times, is to do your emotional release work and your judgment and denial release work. Just do, get all those, bring those feelings up and feel them as fully as you can. I would suggest doing that because then you're actually doing healing work. Okay? And the reason for all that is because your parts of self listen to you as if you are a god. You are the god of 60 trillion cells in your body. Whatever I tell my body to do, it does like that. Because to them, I am the Logos. I am the Word. I am the saying of God. I am God's voice. And what I say decrees. And what I say is a mandate or an order to my parts of self. Spirit, heart, will, and body. Okay? And so, for your whole life, if you've been wounded, then the outside has wounded your inside. And then you haven't been able to do anything about it. You carry this wound around for a long time. Then your parts, your spirit, heart, will, and body are looking at you like you're not doing anything. In other words, you're an ineffectual God. You're not on their team. You're out looking for yourself. You're just in your head. You see what I'm saying? So it's about trust. This is about building a relationship. So in other words, it's better to have some proof that you're actually trying to heal your spirit, your heart, your will, and your body before you even start talking to them. Yeah? Because this changes the whole relationships and the whole dynamics from outside to inside. From being the victim of circumstances and the victim of traumas to being the one who heals and mentors and facilitates and helps and is connected to. From being disconnected to yourself to being reconnected to yourself. This is a big, 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 big deal. Yeah? And here, I'll show you. Oh, this little, what do you call it? Whiteboard I made. This is you up here, right? You. And you equal the Logos, and that is the word of God, the sayings of God, the decree of God, the mandate of God, and the order of God, right? So, what does that mean? That means if you say, I'm not good enough, there's something wrong with me, I hate my body, yeah? Your spirit, your heart, your will, and body respond instantly. Remember the video that I said about the biology of boo? You say boo and your whole body is flooded with, like 40 chemicals and reactions, and all your muscles move in a second. You see, because you are seen as the Logos, the Word of God, the mouth of God, the sayings of God. You see what I'm saying? And but we're God in absentia. We're God without knowing. We're God not pretending to not be God. And this is why it's about building trust with your parts. Okay, and then spirit, and then you, right, you over here, and spirit are the same. When you are just in your head, then you're operating out of your spirit. And so whatever the spirit does and says is what heart, will, and body respond to. And that's why it's good to do some healing work before you start talking to the parts of self, so you don't come off as like some kind of arrogant prig or somebody who's demanding that they do something in addition to what you've already done to them, which was allow pain and suffering and discord to happen longer than it should have. And then the toxic judgments and beliefs that you have. Remember those lists of beliefs and judgments? There's hundreds of them. And and that becomes a decree of God. I'm not worthy. There's something wrong with me. I'm not allowed love. I can't be who I really am. There's nobody there for me. And all those kind of feelings is your message that you got from the outside that you then perpetrate on your inside. So you are both the victim and the perpetrator. The outside, you feel like a victim, but inside you're the perpetrator of your own pain. You see how that works? And the whole point of Language Lessons of the Heart is to change your language from being a victim and a perpetrator, being a victim, and then being a perpetrator, to being someone who is compassionate and kind and caring, friendly, neighbors, family to your heart, your will, and your body. That's what it's all about. So I'm going to talk about the flow and how it works with the flow and why. Heartlessness is the number one issue on the planet, and how heartlessness comes to be reflected in the outside because there's heartlessness on the inside. Okay, so first we're going to talk a little bit about the players. Yeah, I already got up here you, right, and spirit. So you, spirit, and mind are the same thing. And I talked a little bit about, you're the God, right? But spirit is seen by all parts, including yourself. Spirit is seen as God the Father. However, mind is the antithetical force. And mind does not necessarily have any love in it at all. So mind equals Lucifer, first light, which is not necessarily loving. It's more like an application than an actual part of what it is. But the love of spirit can be very loving, but it doesn't have the same kind of duration because it's out there taking care of business. Like, this is the man who takes care of everything and has to, make up the plan and go to work and do all that kind of stuff. And this is whether you are a woman or a man. The man part, which would be, I guess, your left brain, your rational brain, is seen as God, right? And heart is the heart of creation. It is also masculine, and between spirit and will, heart is seen as the child between those two. All three of these are supposed to be together. They're supposed to be together as a family, right? And so the highest form of heart he's the balance of all creation, and all creation, the whole entire universe can fit inside heart. And that's why it's a big deal that the heart is in good shape. And will is the deep feminine. All the goddesses, all the deep women, the mother of all creation, the mother of everything. But she's also your feeling body, what feels for you, and your inner child. So when you do inner child work, it is basically heart and will that you address with the inner child issues. And then the body is also masculine, and it is what do you call it? It is your body. So there's a connection between spirit and body, and what a lot of people call the spirit, mind, and body. That's what most people think of in terms of spirituality, but real spirituality is spirit, heart, will, and body, not spirit, mind, and body. So there's a lot of people think that that's all there is, right? And then heart gets left out and the will gets left out. This is why it's a male-dominated society, and it's not a will-dominated society. And because of this gap, there's heart gets left out, which we'll go into a little bit further. So, body is the god of form, or the father of manifestation. What actually manifests in your life is body. And if there's a conflict between spirit, heart, and will, if there's a conflict in there, in other words, your spirit in absentia is the perpetrator of suffering in the will, then that suffering will go into the body, and the father of manifestation will manifest it as illness. Your body's illness is a manifestation of the inner dynamics of spirit communicating to will and will responding back to spirit. It's as simple as that. Okay, let's talk about other relationships. This is the other person, which is outside of your body. This is your body. They're outside your body. Your primary relationship is you to your spirit, you to your heart, you to your will, and you to your body. That's your primary relationship. And that relationship even is greater than your relationship to God, because your spirit is your connection to God. Your heart is your connection to the heart of creation, which is God. Your will is connected to and is your connection to the great will of everything, the great mother of everything. And then your body is connected to God the Father of manifestation. That's your primary relationships. Now, what happens is, body likes to have sex and to be touched and loved and all that stuff. Will loves that stuff. Heart loves. Everybody loves to have a relationship. However, if your situation inside you is not good, and let's say your spirit is willy-nilly, or maybe it's demanding, or it's acting like a narcissist, and that affects your will, then your will is going to look for somebody to relieve her, right? To give her the kind of love she wants. So you will look out to outside. So if you're a woman, you will look to a man out here, and you're looking for a spirit that is better, that'll fulfill you, that your own spirit is not doing, right? So from will to spirit, right? And if you're a man, right? You're a man and you're looking for a woman, it is your spirit looking for a will. Think of it in terms of astrology, of like Aries and Cancer or whatever it is. So it's similar to that. So if your spirit feels a lot of lack or whatever it is, if you're a man, and then you're looking for a woman over here, the will. So what happens to most relationships is because you're in a relationship isn't working good or as good as you want. You're lonely, you feel disconnected, you feel incomplete because of all these things that we talked about, because of the outside shit that happened to you. We seek the counterbalance in other relationship. However, this is all talking about you up here who's trying to figure it all out. But once your relationship is right in here, then that other relationship is not as good as it is as you need. When you begin to talk to the parts of yourself, you will build love between you and your spirit, kindness, care, compassion, love between you and your heart. Your heart will give you compassion, and you'll give love and talk back and forth. You'll be in communication with this family. And the same thing with your love for your will and love for your body. When you get these four going, then you automatically have 4 times as much love. Because you, loving you can't love an idea. But when you talk to your spirit and they talk back, that's the first form of relationships, is being able to talk. If you can't talk to yourself in this way, then how can you show love? It's like then love becomes an imagination or an abstraction, or you seek for that love on the outside in the other person. So if you've got problems and they've got problems, then your problems match. Your spirits will if your spirit is a dominating kind of a being, then that spirit will look for somebody who's a submissive will. You see, or if your will is dominating, she will look. Or if your will over here is dominating and really powerful, maybe she'll look for a submissive spirit, and so on. And that's how all relationships are working. And they're all based on your internal relationship, the atmosphere of love and cooperation you have over here. And you'll seek what you lack over here. So almost all relationships are based on your wounds. So when their wounds match, if you've got a really bad self-image, and this person has even a worse self-image, then your wounds match. But then it's a relationship based on wounds, and we all say we want a relationship based on heart. But here's the problem. This is a big problem. If you've been abused in your childhood, then you get your will is all clogged up with judgments and sadness and pain and suffering and loneliness and all that kind of stuff. And all those messages traveled from your spirit, from you to the spirit, through heart and into your will. So heart gets completely blown out, gone, not able to function, because to the heart, the spirit and will are not getting along. They're not getting along. So heart can't come into existence. And this happens in all parts of our society. Rich to poor, corporations are known as being heartless because they're not taking the feelings or heart into account. Heart isn't placed first. It's the idea, the idea of the corporation, or making money, right? Or the idea of getting your needs met. It's not getting your internal needs met first, right? It's not when you think, I'm not good enough, and there's no man for me, or there's no woman for me. When you think that goes through your heart, hits your will, then into your body, and that manifests. Then you're going to go out over here, and you'll find that there is no good man for you, or there is no love for you, or whatever it is. That's what you'll manifest, or everybody I've ever loved has hurt me, and that goes down through the heart, blows out heart, and then will has to hold those feelings. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Body manifests it, and as soon as you get into a relationship, guess what you get? Then every relationship you get into will hurt you. You see what I'm saying? I'll be brokenhearted, blah, blah, blah. Because this relationship is not good first. Once this relationship is good, then the outside has to. It has to. You will only be attracted to what is in alignment to what's inside you. And if you want heart, then you have to bring heart back into your words. You up here have to go to heart and say, is what I'm going to say to myself loving? Is it with my good intention? I am good enough. I am a worthy person. I am not lonely. The whole creation supports me. This makes the heart alive. This good words that you say makes your will heal. Yeah? And then you have this internal atmosphere of love and cooperation, and you have a type of fulfillment. Then when you go over to a relationship, you're not coming from lack of love, lack of touch, lack of communication, lack of somebody to be with, lack of whatever the lack is. Then your relationship will be based on fulfilling needs that haven't been met inside you. It's as simple. It's pretty much as simple as that. But again, our eyes are pointed outward, and we say, "I want this kind of a man, this kind of a woman," and all this kind of stuff. They become what's real for you. They become part of you, but they are in your outer world. And what is in the outer world can never fulfill what's in the inner world, because you, as the Logos, haven't been acting like the Logos. You've been acting like your chopped liver. But as soon as you take responsibility for the atmosphere of love in your spirit, the atmosphere of love in your heart, the atmosphere of love in your will, and the atmosphere of love in your body, and care and concern and communication, when that gets established, it's a whole different story, you see? So you always have to love yourself more than you love the other person. Love your heart more than you love their heart. Love your will more than you love their will, and so on, or their body. Yeah? Because once that love is rooted and real for you, then if the person comes or goes or changes or has a bad day, you're not dependent on them for your fulfillment, for your happiness, for any of that kind of stuff, you see? So then your relationship should be a bonus, not a necessity. And if they need to go somewhere or change their life or do something different, then you're not torn apart because your heart gets torn apart because the only love it ever got was from this. Or, see what I'm saying? It gets confusing. It's inside you first, foremost, primarily, and this includes God, because as soon as we say that there's a God, then we put the God, the Logos, outside of us. There's no way that you can have any kind of a decent relationship with the God outside of you because the God is inside of you. So you go inside, and when you talk to spirit, then you're also talking to God. When you talk to heart, you're talking to somebody like Jesus or the heart of creation, right? When you talk to the will, you're talking to the great feminine, the great mother of everything, who is the mother of spirit, heart, and body. And then everything that's ever manifested is manifested because of the body, so that the God of form. So the form of your self-compassion, the form of your self-love, the form of your heart, the form of your spirit, all has to do with body. And a lot of people treat their body like shit. Oh, it's just a raincoat, or you're going to toss it off, it's meaningless, it's just matter, it doesn't matter. You have no idea the love that body has for you. You know what I mean? Every single thing that you do, body does for you. Every single thing you want, body gets for you. Every single pleasure that you have, body feels it for you, and so does will. You see, body's a big deal. But if we think that our body's chopped liver, then we're looking for another body, and that body's not going to fulfill us because we're not connected to our own body. So this body's not going to fulfill us. So we have to go to person after person after person, looking for something that's we're lacking over here. That's kind of the flow of relationships, of the other relationships. And pretty much, once you understand that your spirit is fully conscious and superconscious, your heart is fully conscious and superconscious, your will is fully conscious and superconscious, and your body is fully conscious and superconscious, there is a little bit of a jealousy. Why would you go over to this person over here and ignore, not talk to, not take into account, and not feel that your internal relationship? Why would you say, this is not fulfilling to me. I want to find this. Well, that's like saying, you're living in a mansion and you're going to go to a shack. Why would you do that? You see what I'm saying? So there's a little bit of a jealousy there. There's a little bit of like, well, if you're not going to, and here's the thing, if you're not connected to your own heart and your spirit and will are not working good, they're the Shiva and Shakti, if they're not doing good, then heart's not doing good. Then guarantee you, heart, if they're not doing good, heart doesn't want you to have a good relationship over here, because why would you have a good relationship over here and ignore this relationship? Yeah, it's sort of you're actually playing the part of the man, right, who is in a relationship with a family and his wife and family, and he doesn't value them, and he goes out and cheats on his inner family, on his family, with another woman. Or a woman, same thing, a woman who doesn't value her man, doesn't value her children's, and doesn't value herself enough, and she goes out and finds another man, and man after man, she cheats on her primary relationship. That's what's going on. When you see people cheating on their primary relationship, both women and men, it's because they don't value their inner connection. That's their inner family first. And they will do that whether we're talking about the inner child or their actual children. Men who have children will cheat on the wife and destroy the family because this was not right for him ever. And when he sees somebody over here, he's going to go, oh, I want to get more of this that I'm not getting it inside myself. I'm not getting it in my relationship with my current wife or children. I want to get this feeling over here from somebody else. And that's why relationships are so screwed up. And this is why this is so important. You want to have a better relationship with God. You want to have a better relationship with your heart and your will and your body. You want to have a better relationship externally. You want to have a better relationship with your boss. It's all about inside you first. If this is not right, if you have a lack or a wound, it's going to show up in who you pick over here. And so your wound here, this person here will match your wound over here. And that's why patterns repeat. Girls try to save the bad boy, and the bad boy ends up hurting them over and over and over again. And that's because the bad boy is their self. The bad boy is their self, not and their own inner relationship. Anyway, that's talking to the parts of self. I have other videos about it, but basically what you do is you pull the energy out of your spirit and you talk to it. Hello, spirit, right? That's me connecting to my spirit, and I cast my voice, and my spirit says back to me, hello, Michael, very good video, I like what you're doing, people need to know. See, that's my spirit talking to me. It's the same thing with the heart. This is channeling. In a way, you're channeling the energy of your heart and the energy of your will and the energy of your body. You're channeling them, and then you can make agreements. Then you can get energized. You can get you can build an internal atmosphere of love and cooperation by talking. Because if you're in a family, let's say you're a family and you're in a quadruplex, right? You're living on the top floor, and you don't talk to anybody in your family on the third floor, the second floor, the first floor. Then what kind of a family is that? You see, you have to talk to somebody in order to love them. You have to acknowledge them in order to love them. So we don't love ourselves because we're told that this is it. And when we go that this is it, then we become schizophrenic and start having some other voice talk to us. No, become polyphrenic. You can talk to your spirit, you can talk to your heart, you can talk to your will, you can talk to your body. Any kind of issues that you have. If your body has health issues, then you talk to your spirit, heart, and will and body and get each of them on track to healing your body and healing your emotional body and all that kind of stuff. If you have inner child work, you can talk to your will, you can talk to your inner child and nurture and have compassion and mentor yourself. Then you'll be the logos, the actual logos, which is, the God that you want. You have to be the God that you want. You have to be the parent that you never had. Yeah? And this is this is why it's so significant, because in this process you can do transactional analysis, you can do Gestalt therapy, and Gestalt therapy is nothing more than you're sitting in one chair and you imagine talking to yourself in another chair at another age. That's Gestalt therapy, and this is the same thing as Gestalt therapy, only it's much more personal. The other thing is about being congruent. When you have to go to work, right? Your head goes, your head, which is the logos, which is your mind, says we got to go to work, we got to pay the bills, blah blah blah, right? But your heart may be going, oh man, I'm so tired of this, I hate my body, and your will's going, this is horrible, everybody there treats me terrible, right? And your body says, I am worn out, because you go to work, you get buzzed out over there, and you're not happy. Then you come home and you watch TV all night, and then when I don't get enough sleep, you see, this is called being incongruent. The head wants to or has to go one way, heart going another way, will going another way, and body going another way. You're incongruent. And yet, if you can remember when you play a game with somebody, like you're out playing baseball or tag or something like that, then everybody's in alignment. See, that's congruent. When your head, your heart, your will, and your body are going in the same direction, and that's like when you do art or something, or when you write or play music or something, you're congruent, right? You can't play music if your heart's not in it, and if if you're emotionally upset, you can start to play music, but it'll turn to crap. So to be congruent is very, very, and to be authentic, right? So you know exactly what's going on in your heart. You know exactly what's going on in your head. You know exactly what's going on in your spirit, and your will, in your belly, and you know exactly what's going on in your body. This kind of direct, channeled, one-to-one, absolute communication with yourself is not being taught anywhere. And it is new on earth, and it is new for the evolution of the soul. And again, you have 4 times the opportunity of self-love. Without self-love, all the rest of your relationships turn to shit, because you're looking for self-love in somebody else. It's not 2 people sharing a life together. It's 2 lackers, people who are empty, looking for something that they don't have in self, the emptiness inside for fulfillment. And the other thing is, you get 4 times more intelligence. 4 times, okay? Let's say you're going to go for that new relationship. And you go, Spirit, what do you think about this? Is this going to be good? And you'll get, well, yes, no, whatever. Spirit will tell you what the pros and cons are. And you say, Heart, you've been hurt a lot. What do you think the risk factor is on this, right? And then once you build up a good relationship, they'll tell you right away, no, this person's a player, or maybe it's worth a shot, right? And then you say the same thing with your will. Say, Will, you're my emotional body. I love you. So what do you think about this person, this relationship? Do you think you'd be hurt? Or how could, and you work this kind of stuff out. The same thing with the physical body, Physical body says, well, I'm all in, but, you have to take all the other parts into account, you see? So you become 4 times more intelligent. Same thing with a new job. Same thing with anything you want to do. Is when you talk and check in with your parts of self, you get congruent, you get alignment, and you have 4 times more intelligence. This is not a joke. This is real when you actually do it. Plus, the part about where you're doing your healing work. Because once you get trust with your spirit, heart, will, and body, they will tell you when, where, and how you were hurt, and what they need to move now, and what's important to them, and how they want to. And it goes down to even to eating. Okay, you have your body, right? And your body's like sick, and you've got 65 diseases, and you're on 55 medications, and it's like, what? That 65 medications is because you're not connecting to them and relieving them and loving them and being compassionate to them. You're just the thought slap on a pill, right? So I'm not saying you're going to solve everything, but for example, should you eat more vegetables? Should you eat raw? or should you, or should you eat more fish, or should you take calcium, or whatever the thing is, you can work it out with your parts. And should you play more? Should you dance? Should you sing? Whatever they need, if you're willing to do it, then your body's going to respond. Remember, your voice is the voice of God to them. So if you say you're going to heal, if you say that you're going to be able to do something, you do it, yeah? And they will respond. There's no way that they cannot respond, because your voice is the voice of God to them, to all your cells in your body, to your heart, to your will, and to your spirit, right? And so you have to take that responsibility. The magic of talking to the parts of self is when you step into taking responsibility and being proactive as being the one who's actually responsible for what's going on in your thoughts, in your heart, in your will, and in your body. When you take that responsibility, you step into the role as a God, as the manifestation of God's will on earth. And that's pretty powerful stuff. Well, there's a lot more to it, but I think you're probably overloaded right now, so I'll end it. All right? You can do it. Remember to do your empowerments first, so that they're not looking at you like you're the perpetrator.